Good afternoon, everyone. We really appreciate everybody logging on today for a college tour, which is a kickoff to our 30 for 31 virtual college tour series. As you may know, ESPN turned 30 a few years ago, and they did 30 documentaries. Well, we're doing 31 college tours around the country, and very excited to kick that off today with North Country Community College. I'm excited to hear more about it. Everything that I've seen and students that have gone there, have loved it. We want to share it broadly. So I will not take too much time talking because we have 7, I believe, great guests that are going to fill you in about that. I'll turn it over to Vice President of Marketing, Kyle Johnson, and questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. And we'll follow up. Most of our schools here are all CFES Brilliant Pathway schools, and this is one of our 3 pillars of exposing students to as many colleges on campus and virtually as possible. So for further ado, I will turn it over to Kyle.
All right, thanks, John. Just double checking to make sure you can see the presentation and you can hear me.
Looks great. Yep. And
all right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kyle Johnston. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Enrollment at North Country Community College. And we're located in upstate New York in the Adirondack region, which we'll talk a little bit more about. I know some of the people that are on today are more local and regional, but we've got some people that are from far, far away too. So we'll try to explain where we're at and what the terrain is like up in the Adirondacks where we're at. During our visit today, I will be going over some high-level points about the college, just to give you kind of an overview. And then we will have brief presentations on all 3 of our campuses located in Malone, Saranac Lake, and Ticonderoga, New York. We'll talk a little bit about financial aid and scholarships, and then we'll talk about our athletics program. We'll also talk about student life, our student support services, and campus housing. Then we'll finish it up by talking about our Bridge program, which is our concurrent enrollment program. And we'll open it up to questions that any of you have. And I know we'll open it up so people can ask their questions, but you also have your chat. And I believe some people have submitted some questions in advance. So we'll go over those right at the end. So with that, we'll jump right in. Okay. All about North Country. As I mentioned, we have 3 campuses in Northern New York. We cover primarily the counties of Essex and Franklin, but we have a lot of local and regional students, but we have a lot of out-of-state and international students too that come to our campuses. And we're in a fairly rural area, like I said, in the Adirondack Park in the mountains. Which is kind of a misnomer for people. Myself, growing up in the Midwest, I always thought of New York as being nothing but buildings and cities, and it's very much not that. That's all located to the south of us. We are the only public institution located in the park, which we're pretty proud of. And at our campuses, we have over 25 degrees and certificate programs that students take or enroll in, and they range from anything from 1 to 2 semesters to 2 years to students that come to us wanting to get a 4-year degree where they would transfer and beyond. So we really try to be a launch pad for students regardless of what they want to go into. With our academic programs, we have a few different areas that we really focus in on. And when we talk about the campuses specifically, we'll go into more detail about the degrees and certificates that are available on those campuses. But really, in general terms, our program areas are within business and entrepreneurship. So any kind of business and administration type programs. We also have programs in the criminal justice area and human services. We have programs in the digital and fine arts, environmental science, and wilderness leadership. We have some very strong programs in healthcare and nursing. That's become something that we've really been known for. And then we have our transfer degrees and tracks, and those are for students that are coming in with the intention of getting a four-year degree or more. So we try to set them on the right path there to transfer to a four-year college or university. We'll also talk a little bit about our competitive admission programs. So anybody that's not familiar with competitive admission, those are the programs that fill up, and students have certain criteria that they have to complete before they can get into those programs. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Anytime you want to check out all of our program areas, we have them all on one web page. That's nccc.edu/programs. All right. One of the things that we're really proud of, all of us that work in the two-year college sector, is affordability. It doesn't matter if you're talking to North Country Community College or another two-year college down the road. We try to be the best value in higher education. And the way we're able to do that is to try to keep our tuition and fees as low as we possibly can, so that students have access to higher education. Sometimes where that would be a real obstacle, going to a more expensive four-year college or private college. Students can save a lot of money by starting at their local two-year college. And one of the things we've been able to do the last couple of years is freeze our tuition and fees. So what that means is that we still are the same cost as we were in 2019. And that's something that we've been committed to doing, is trying to freeze those costs so that students don't have to take out loans. That's something that I'm sure many of you have heard in the media in the last year, is that the cost of college at some colleges is really quite expensive. And the only way that students can afford that is by taking out a lot in loans. So we really focus on trying to get students in the doors and as much financial aid as we possibly can. And we'll be talking a little bit about financial aid later on. This graphic is just something that comes out from the College Board, where we can see where we stack up against other colleges, whether it be a four-year college or a private college. You can take a look there and see that the costs are lesser at a two-year college. And I have to mention to you, even our college application is free. That's something that we did change some years ago, just to make it easier for students to apply and get accepted. And with our college application, most students get it taken care of in about 10 minutes. It's a very easy and straightforward application. All right, and with that, I am going to hand it off to Sam Phillips on our Malone campus.
Thanks, Kyle. Hi, everyone. My name is Samantha Phillips. Just about everybody calls me Sam, and I work on our Malone campus branch. So North Country is actually 3 different campuses, which my counterparts will talk a little bit more about. But at the Malone campus, the buildings itself have a really rich history. So we are in kind of what I call downtown Malone. And we are a commuter campus, meaning our students come in and out each day. We don't have dormitories on our campus. We're actually fairly small. We have 2 main buildings. Both of them serve as academic buildings where you'll have classrooms and computer labs and study areas. And they also have some administrative offices like mine, like professors' offices, and also our student life center. So Malone isn't that big of a town, but ironically, a lot of people have a hard time finding our street that we're off of. So typically, if we tell people we are located across from the Franklin County Fairgrounds, people are able to find us. So I'm not sure if some of you have read the Almanzo Wilder books, or even the Little House on the Prairie stories, but there's a fellow in there named Almanzo Wilder. He gives a lot of fame to the Franklin County Fairgrounds, as I believe he showed one of his cabs there. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Google it. It's a really nice story and might give you an idea of where we're located. But as I mentioned, we're a small campus. We have our Ballard Mill building, which used to be a wool mill. We have our Mill Student Center, and we also have Rashad Khanna Hall. So as I mentioned, our buildings are, again, pretty historic to the area, and we're pretty centrally located in northern New York. Yeah. As mentioned, we serve primarily Franklin and Essex County, and we also do our best to serve some parts of Clinton County as well as Akwesasne, which is a Native American Mohawk nation that is approximately 30 minutes from the Malone campus. So even though we're a smaller campus, we do offer a wide variety of degrees and certificates. We offer nursing, we offer, which is a very popular program with us, especially because we are just miles away from the Alice Hyde Hospital and the Alice Hyde Network. We also offer business administration as one of our really popular tracks. We also offer a few different certificates. I would say entrepreneurship right now is really popular at our Malone campus. A lot of students are looking to start their own businesses, but also to see what is business about. And I think that with that certificate, which is only a 1-year commitment, so about 15 credits per semester, you get a really nice foundation of what business is, what it takes to run a business, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of social media information, and most importantly, your finances. I would say that our second most popular program is part of our Child and Family Services program. We have a lot of students who are interested in humanities, who are interested in giving back to their communities through various child and family service programs. And so that's really nice to be around that energy of students who are looking to be part of something bigger within their communities. As I mentioned, we are a small, but I think still a mighty campus. I think what makes North Country as a whole stand out is the people that work there. Very rarely are you going to find somebody that doesn't necessarily know your name, or somebody that isn't willing to help you. And so here in our pictures, you'll see on the top left is our LAC, which is our Learning Assistance Center. We have an entire team of retention specialists and tutors who are looking to help you stay in school, to focus and to learn some new study habits. But right along with, if you are an adult student or a student that's in need, they are willing to give all the support that they can. You'll see that we also have in our center picture there a small bookstore. We are probably like 1/8 of the size of the bookstore at the Saranac Lake campus, but they house everything there. So if you're looking for a nice hoodie to buy, if you are looking for maybe an extra stethoscope for nursing classes, that is all at our small campus store. We also have digital design labs and computer labs. You'll see in that bottom left picture, Tina is one of our professors for our art program, and she's actually with one of the design classes. So digital design is also one of our certificates. And I think that everybody should be taking at least one digital design type of class, because that's just kind of the way of the world right now, where you're going to eventually be asked to design something, whether that's a postcard, whether that is a small sign, for your office space. It's definitely going to be something that you should keep in your back pocket. We also offer courses at Akwesasne at the Mohawk Nation territory. So as I mentioned, we're approximately 30 minutes from the Malone campus. And the territory itself is really rich in an educational history. It borders the New York State border and the Canadian border, and is part of 2 different provinces, Ontario and Quebec, as well as 2 different state counties, St. Lawrence County and Franklin County. And so some of the past courses that we've offered include Intro to Human Services, business. We have quite a few students, as I mentioned, who are in that entrepreneurship certificate program. And these courses are offered every semester in person. They are more of what we call a hybrid class, where students will meet in person once a week and then do a large amount of work online and in various group sessions and things like that. So I just wanted to point out that last year's commencement speaker was Miss Minerva White. She is the photo in the middle there. And she actually is one of the kind of front runners of Native American education throughout the country. Our most recent graduate on the left is Rosalie Morris. She is now working within the education division at the St. Regis Mohawk tribe. And we also have Sub-Chief Benny Hearn on the right there. He is a former student who started out taking classes at the Tribal Administration Building. So we have quite a few success stories, and we're hoping to continue that on.
All right, thank you, Sam. And to talk about the Saranac Lake campus, Amy, you're up.
Thanks, Kyle. Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Tuthill. I'm an associate director in the marketing and enrollment division here at North Country, and also wanted to send a quick shout out to all the folks on this webinar from AuSable Valley. I'm a proud graduate from way back when. If you're looking for the full college experience, I know Sam had mentioned that the Malone campus is a commuter campus. Here on the Saranac Lake campus, we can offer you that full college experience, complete with residence halls, a dining facility, and an athletic complex that Chad's going to talk about a little bit more down the line. But again, you'll find all of those opportunities here to round out your experience as a college student. As Kyle mentioned, we are located in the Adirondack Mountains of northern New York State, and we're about less than 10 miles away from Lake Placid. So some of you probably, especially those of you who are from further distances from the Adirondacks, may have heard about the 1980 Winter Olympic Games. Those were held, again, just about 10 miles down the road. And Lake Placid is going to be hosting the upcoming 2023 World University Games. If you are interested in outdoor recreation as something to do outside of class time, we are well known in this area in the Adirondacks for outdoor recreation. So if you like to camp in the outdoors, if you like to hike, ski, snowboard, fish, canoe or kayak, or maybe if you've never done any of those things and you want to try them, you'll find those opportunities here. Great time, great place to be able to try out new things and new experiences in the heart of the Adirondacks. Like Kyle said, we're not an area that's full of tall skyscraper buildings. Most often you'll find that the trees are taller than all of our buildings. So it's a great place. It's a quiet place to come and get your education. We're located in Saranac Lake, right in the village of Saranac Lake. So when you're here, you're close to downtown restaurants and shops, sporting goods supply stores, grocery stores, fast food, gas stations, all of those things that you might want to visit and frequent when you're not in classes, or if you need supplies, they're here. There's also great shopping in Lake Placid, and that's a world-class destination. People come from all over the world to visit Lake Placid. So lots of opportunity to see people from all over the world. The Saranac Lake campus does feature some of the same things that Sam mentioned. So for example, we have a really good sized library that has probably about 60,000 pieces of material, including books, journals, newspapers, and the like. Has computers in it. We have a learning assistance center here on campus as well that will provide tutoring, group help, writing support, and also a place for accommodations. So if you're a student who needs accommodations, maybe you need some extended time in testing or an alternate site for testing, we have that here at our, what we call the Learning Assistance Center, or the LAC. Our class sizes are really small, so you'll never really find much more than 20 students in your class. Sometimes you might even find 10 or 15. So there's always a great opportunity for you to get to know your professors and for them to get to know you. In addition to all of those opportunities on the academic support side, we offer all of the degree programs that North Country has to offer right here in Saranac Lake. But some of the programs that we have, in addition to the business administration, sports and events management, and criminal justice programs, are really very unique to just the Saranac Lake campus. So if, for example, you're thinking about studying environmental science or environmental studies, maybe wilderness recreation leadership, those are all offered only here on our Saranac Lake campus. Additionally, we have some allied health programs that are competitive in nature. 2 of them, again, are offered only here in Saranac Lake, that being the massage therapy program and the radiologic technology program. But again, the allied health programs, the massage therapy, the radiologic technology, and both our nursing programs, practical nursing certificate and the associate degree in nursing, are highly competitive programs. When we're reviewing applications for those programs, we're looking at your GPA, your high school grade point average. And we're going to look more specifically at your grades in English, math, and science. So if you're currently a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, and you're thinking, oh, boy, those careers really sound cool, then really work hard to get those grades where you want them to be so that we can make a decision for you that helps you get into those degrees. If you haven't done real well, but still want to get into those careers, we can help you with our health sciences program and get you started in some of the courses that you need to get your GPA where we need it to be. So if any of those careers are of interest to you, we've got a path to help you out. The other degree programs, just I'll briefly mention, if you're thinking about you want a bachelor's degree eventually, this is a great place to start with your associate's degree in liberal arts and sciences. Offers you a great affordable way to get started in your education and then transfer on to a bachelor's degree at the college of your choice. And some of the concentrations that we have to offer in the liberal arts and sciences degrees include tracks or pathways in English, psychology, early childhood education, and math and science. And then when you're ready to transfer, we have some folks here on campus who can help you navigate the transfer process, and you may hear some more about that later on. So hopefully we'll see you here at North Country at some point in time, and thanks for listening.
All right, thank you, Amy. Next up is the Ticonderoga campus, which we affectionately know as TI. Portia. And Portia, if you're talking, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm Portia from our Ticonderoga campus. We are the newest of the 3 campuses and also the smallest. The small campus size means that our faculty to student ratio commonly allows for more one-on-one assistance and addressing individual learning styles. We are also known as a commuter campus, where our students either live locally or in a nearby town. Our team here is well known for our caring and compassionate approach to working with students. That creates a family-like atmosphere for our campus. The students know that they can come to any one of us if they have a question or a concern. And if it doesn't apply to us directly, we are able to personally direct them to the person that they need to be speaking with. Here we offer flexible teaching and learning. This includes mini courses, remote learning, online tutoring, and the online tutoring can also be available during off hours. Our faculty is willing to meet with the diverse needs of our students. The Ticonderoga campus is also located, it's one of the most historically important locations of North America. We have fascinating history right outside our door. Our faculty is known for their expertise in the local and regional history. Ticonderoga is also known as the land between two lakes. We have the gorgeous Lake George and Lake Champlain. And that being that we're in the heart of the Adirondacks, we're surrounded by amazing sites and activities for you to enjoy the outdoors throughout the year. So some of the degrees that we offer here on our campus, like the other two campuses, we have the online and the hybrid courses. For us here directly on campus, we have liberal arts, and you can either have a track of psychology, early childhood or childhood education, and English. We have the Associates of Applied Science, which is health science, your RN, your LPN for nursing. And then we have the business administration with healthcare administration track.
All right. Thank you, Portia, for telling us about what's available at Ty campus.
You're welcome.
We are going to shift gears and now talk a little bit about financial aid and paying for college and scholarships with our financial aid director, Mary Ellen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Ellen Chamberlain. I'm the Director of Financial Aid here at North Country. I've worked in financial aid for about 31 years. I've been at North Country almost 6 years. So I have a lot of experience and knowledge to share with you, more in depth than what the slide will show. So at the end, or if at any time you would like to meet with me or, have a Zoom or email me, then I'd be more than happy to help you as well. For financial aid is based on prior income, which means that in the past it would always go on the year before, but now it goes on 2 years before school, your senior year. So like for next year, the aid will be covered under the 2021 income. So there's different types of financial aid that's available. There's federal grants, there's state grants, there's scholarships and loans. I will go over briefly what each one would mean. The federal grants, that usually includes a Pell Grant, a federal Pell Grant, and that ranges up to $68.95. You get quite a bit depending on your income. All the financial aid is based on household income, household family members, and income and assets. For the federal Pell Grant, that's all based on there. Then there's also an SEOG grant, which is called the Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant. Each school is given a certain amount of money for that to give out to students that have the highest need. And then there's also federal work study jobs that are available that students can state if they're interested. Usually you can list that when you complete the FAFSA, it'll ask you if you're interested in work study. I would recommend putting yes, because if you suggest no, most schools go off that question and they'll award you work study based on how you answer that question. Then there's a state grant, which is from New York State. There's a couple different grants through there. It's the New York State TAP Award. That's also based on net taxable income and family members and how many are in college. And then there's also the relatively new grant that's out. It's the New York State Excelsior program. And that's basically, it depends on the school if they're participating in that program. It's basically free tuition for the up to 4 years that students in school. And there's a lot of quirks with that depending on what school you're going to. So again, that would be more of an in-depth conversation with myself or at the school that you're interested in going to. There's scholarships that are available through most schools. Most schools have merit-based scholarships and also need-based scholarships. I would recommend, depending on your choice, to really go on the financial aid section of the websites and review what guidelines they have for these type of scholarships. Some are out, some would be an additional application, but some are basically based on what your FAFSA results are. Then there's loans that all students are eligible for. They call them now the direct loans from the federal government. All students would be eligible depending, there's two different types. There's a subsidized loan and then there's an unsubsidized loan. And the difference between the two is for a student who is awarded subsidized, the government pays the interest while you're in school. And for the unsubsidized, you would pay the interest while you're in school. So those are the types of financial aid overall that each school offers students. So in order to get started, regarding your financial aid, you would have to first, you and a parent, if you're a dependent student, would have to apply for an FSA ID. And we listed the website for that. Just make sure that common error for students is each student and each parent has to have separate emails when they fill out this FSA ID, because a lot of your information will be sent to that email. So it takes like 3 days for the information to be validated. So you can do that at any time. And once that's complete, then that will give you the ability to go onto the FAFSA website and apply for financial aid. In addition to the FAFSA, if you're from New York State, if you mark yes on the FAFSA that you're from New York State, you will, in addition to completing the FAFSA, you will also have to complete a New York State higher education application. And by marking that you are a New York State resident, they will send you an email stating that you would have to start the application and finish it. You would also have to generate a PIN number and a username as well. If you have any other information, there's additional information on our website under paying for college on our website. So I would recommend going through and reviewing that information. But in addition, it's really important that you complete the FAFSA as early as you can. Some schools have strict deadlines. We don't have any deadlines, but we have a preferred, a recommended date to apply for the FAFSA by May 1. So they opened it up every year. It's open on October 1, so you can apply early. And you can add up to 10 schools on there, and the schools will get your information and start the process. But again, as I mentioned, if you have any questions after you review all your information, I'd be more than happy to meet with each of you if you wanted to one-on-one. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mary Ellen. And we're going to move from financial aid to talking about Saints athletics with Chad.
Good afternoon. My name is Chad Ledoux. I'm the athletic director and alumni of the class of 1995. Going to talk a little bit about our department and what we can offer. We have 5 NJCAA intercollegiate athletic sports teams. And one of the cool things about our student athletes that make up those teams is we have 16 different states and 7 countries that they come from, that they came from this year. And it's really nice to have, student athletes from all over the place get a chance to interact and get to know each other. We have an outstanding coaching staff, and over the last 8 to 10 years, we really have become one of the top teams in our region when it comes to men's and women's soccer and men's and women's basketball. So we're very excited for where we currently have our programs, and we're looking forward to continue to have success. We have 5 teams starting in the fall. We have men's soccer. We have Coach Cowan, who is his first year. Coach Cowan is also an alum in North Country. They're currently 4-4. Very good start for Coach first year. Had an outstanding recruiting class, and we're very excited about the possibility of once he gets to bring in his second class, where we get 1 full year of recruiting, what we can be going forward. So men's soccer is in outstanding hands, and we look forward to the future with that program. We also have women's soccer, which is coached by Kent Egglefield. Our women's soccer team is coming off the best season in school history. They made it to the regional finals, and they have continued that success, starting off 6-1 this year. And we really look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the playoffs. And we're really hoping for that first regional championship with our women's soccer team. During the winter, we have men's and women's basketball. Our men's basketball team is coached by Coach Jared Dumont. This will be his first year. Coach is also an alum of North Country. He will be moving over from the women's program to the guys. He has led the women's program for the last 14 years, over 200 plus wins. And has taken him to the national tournament the last 3 years. So we're extremely excited to see what the men's program is going to do this upcoming winter. Women's basketball is coached by Coach Roger Long. Roger will be in his first year, but we will have a lot of familiar bodies. We have 9 returning players from a team that finished 5th in the country last year. So we're looking forward to a great winter with both our men's and women's basketball team. And in the spring, we have women's lacrosse, which is coached by Kent Egglefield, our women's soccer coach. He does both programs. Our women's lacrosse program plays in the toughest region in the country. Our region has won 9 out of the 10 national championships in the last 10 years. It's an extremely competitive region, and we are really looking to build our program to be able to compete. Another thing that we offer within our department is the athlete mentoring program. And it's very important that our student athletes not only have success on the playing surface, but also in the classroom. Some of our proudest moments will happen in the gym, but it's when they walk across that stage for graduation is when we really feel that we've done something as a department and a coaching staff. So we have a athlete mentoring program that we go ahead and track their progress. We're able to assure that if they need tutoring or if they need to be pushed to make sure that they're attending classes, whatever resources in which they need, we can go ahead and assist them so that our student athletes are doing well in the classroom as well. And that's something that, I'm extremely proud of, that our coaches take a lot of pride to making sure that they are student athletes, not just athletes. Last, I'll kind of leave you with the conference in which we play in and the level of play. We are in the Mountain Valley Conference, which is one of 3 conferences within Region 3. And our conference is one of the top conferences in the country. If you were to look at the major sports of men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, men's and women's softball, baseball, our region and our conference would be represented extremely well nationally. So it's not only is it great as a region, but our student athletes are getting a chance to be seen by a lot of 4-year coaches. And that's where they get the opportunity to continue their dream of playing at the 4-year level. And a lot of our student athletes get to do that on a scholarship. So that's something that our coaches and our department take a lot of pride in, is not only having success the 2 years that you're with us, but how we can help you move on to the next level and continue your dreams. Just like Mary Ellen said, I'd be more than willing at any time. If anyone has individual questions, please reach out. We have a saying at North Country: once a saint, always a saint. And we do truly take care of our student athletes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chad. And we talked about the student athletes and all of our academics. And now we need to chat about some of the things that we have going on in student life and support with Kim.
Hello. We're so excited that you're all here to learn about North Country. And I'm very excited to share what student life experiences our college has to offer that really are quite unique and special compared to some other institutions you might consider. You've heard some of my colleagues share about how small of a campus some of our locations are. And one of the things that allows us to do is really mentor and coach the student leadership skills among our student body and give student voices a very strong platform in the college community. Our culture really values student voices and input. And we don't expect our student leaders to have prior experience. Certainly, if you have been involved in high school council or something like that, you can continue those experiences and skills at North Country. But we expect students to come to us ready to learn and try new things. And we train our student leaders along the way. And we can do that in a variety of ways. We do have a student government association that includes elected positions, but we also have a number of student clubs. And some of those clubs have existed for many semesters, and others are new and are based on the student interest that year. And I think that's a point of pride, because we are able to be very responsive to the student interests each year, each semester. Our student body comes to us with ideas and things they want to strive for, goals they have, experiences they want to see happen and be offered. And so we're able to give them the space and support to actualize those ideas and goals. We also have an auxiliary services branch of the college. It's called our association. And the association is the entity that actually owns and operates our residence halls on the Saranac Lake campus and our dining services, as well as the college stores that you heard were available on our Saranac Lake campus and Malone campus. So that full college experience that Amy talked about in Saranac Lake does include the option to live on campus. Our housing on campus is suite style, which is a little bit unique too, especially for a first-year student to be allowed to live in an apartment, basically, with 4 or 5 other students. So each suite has 4 bedrooms, and those bedrooms can be singles or doubles. And there's a little kitchen, gully kitchen, and a living room and a bathroom. So it gives freshmen and sophomores a chance to live in an apartment on campus with that convenience of not necessarily having to drive to school or to participate in their athletics and things like that. The other amenities include internet, the laundry services, trying to think what else is in the residence halls, but almost everything is included right there for the students. So it's convenient. We have an outdoor basketball court down there, a volleyball court, and a pond. So if you enjoy sitting outside and feeling like you're in the woods, our residence halls are surrounded by beautiful woods. Our dining services on the Saranac Lake campus is also a point of pride. It is a self-operated dining service. So our association owns and operates that food service, and they're able to be really responsive to student food suggestions and requests. And again, the staff, just like our faculty, get to know the student body. We also, you already heard about Saints Athletics, but another service that we provide students is career and transfer services. And the thing I want to share about that is we know that students sometimes change their mind about what they want to do with their education or their career goals after they come to college. And so our part of the college, our office, is able to meet with students individually and talk about their career goals, help them explore their interests, and plan for that transfer experience if that's something you're interested in. We do mock interviews, we review resumes, we help students learn how to job search. So all the basic skills, we can support you individually through some career coaching. We also partner with a counseling, many of our regional counseling providers to make access to all kinds of counseling services accessible, affordable, and in some cases even free. And so we make referrals for students. We bring providers onto campus when possible to make it even easier for students to access those services. And we really try to normalize that getting support for mental health and wellness is very important, and it's valuable, and it matters. Our area also is responsible for managing and responding to campus safety and community standard needs. We have a safety committee at the college that puts together recommendations every year, and we're constantly looking for ways to encourage a climate of safety and continue to build infrastructure and training opportunities to support that. We, of course, have Title IX legislation services that support students when they come to the college. That includes students who are pregnant or parenting a newborn. And it also protects students from being discriminated against based on sex or gender. So there's a lot of really important federal legislation out there that we not only comply with, but support and promote and educate students about. We also do a lot of diversity, equity, and inclusion education, both for students and our faculty and staff, to make sure they are well versed and up to date on the importance of inclusion, equity, and diversity issues on campus. So thanks very much. My name is Kim, and I'm the Interim Associate Vice President of Student Affairs.
All right. Thank you, Kim. We're going to bring Amy back to talk a little bit about our College Bridge program and concurrent enrollment.
Oh, sorry. College Bridge program is a concurrent enrollment program that we offer to a lot of our local area high schools. So for those of you on this webinar who are further away from our area, you may also be participating in concurrent enrollment programs between your high school and a local college. Whatever the case may be, whether you're taking courses through us or another college, you may very well be on your way to earning a degree. And we can help you map out how those courses that you've successfully completed can apply to a degree program here, and perhaps get you to the completion of a certificate or an associate's degree quicker, and that would then also help save you money. So if you have taken courses and want to learn more about how those will help you attain a degree, we're certainly happy to help you map that out and give you some ideas on maybe 1 or 2 degrees. If you're looking at more than one, we can do mapping for really pretty much any degree that we have. So keep that in mind when you're in your high school classes, that if you're taking college courses as well, you're on your way to already earning a degree.
All right. Thank you, Amy. Back over to me. So for those of you that are closer to any of our campuses, and especially our Saranac Lake campus, there's an opportunity coming up to meet with us in person. We have what's called the North Country College Fair that is coming up this Thursday, which is October 6th from 9 to 10:30 in the morning. I believe some of your schools are already committed to coming over, and it's open to anybody. So even if your school is not coming, you can make a morning of it and come to visit us. It's open to the public, and we will have over 45 other colleges there as well. So if people are looking to start elsewhere or to start with us and transfer to another four-year college, they'll all be in attendance, and they'll be ready there to meet with you and hopefully plot out your future. So again, that's our North Country College Fair, and that's happening this Thursday from 9 till 10:30 at Sparks Athletics Complex on the North Country Saranac Lake campus. All right, that is the end of our more formal presentation. We wanted to open up at the end for some questions, and we're hoping we have some answers for you. We want to thank you for your time today and for listening to us, and hopefully you can come away knowing that you can reach out to us anytime, and we're there to help out with anything, any questions that you have, and making that leap into higher education. Just the last couple of things here for you. To apply to our college, we have some pretty simple websites to go to, nccc.edu/apply if you're ready to make that commitment. If you're just looking for information, nccc.edu/request. We really encourage people to come and check out our campuses in person. You can set up a campus visit at nccc.edu/visit. You can call us at 888-TRY-NCCC. You can email us at admissions@nccc.edu. And for anything else you need, nccc.edu is our main website. So let's open it up to some Q&A, and I will stop sharing so you can see our panelists.
Thanks, Kyle, and everybody else. That was about as comprehensive as we've gotten, so that we really appreciate it. I got some questions here. Lots to digest there. It's interesting. I'm in Austin, Texas right now, and we just did a tour of the University of Texas, and a lot of our students on that tour were from smaller towns. And UT seemed a little overwhelming to them. You know, it's massive. And they were very interested in, like, you know, hey, what are some 2-year colleges we can check out? We're going to take them to some of those. And it seems just alone at North Country, the majors, the opportunities. I mean, the 3 campuses. I mean, I've been taking notes here. I think, you know, I've had students texting about just not realizing how much you all had to offer. And as a starting point, what a fantastic place. I mean, you're not positive. In some cases, if you want to go to college, maybe you are sure, but you don't want to start big. So you've got you have all these opportunities and services of a larger college that feel smaller. I mean, I've talked to graduates who loved it there, and for that reason, then went on in many cases to larger schools. One of the questions I had from a student is, if I go there and I graduate, what are schools that graduates of North Country typically go on to? Is there sort of some favorites or schools that students tend to go to after they graduate?
Amy, would you like to tackle that one?
Sure. So a lot of our students will tend to go to some of the State University of New York colleges that are here in New York State, whether it's the 2 closest are SUNY Plattsburgh and SUNY Potsdam. We also have a 2+2 agreement with Paul Smith's, which is just 12 miles down the road. So some students will go there on a special scholarship. We've had students go off to SUNY Cortland, Oswego, some of the other private colleges throughout New York State and beyond. You know, you're not limited just because you're here in New York State for an associate's degree. You really can go anywhere. And as Kim mentioned with the career and transfer counseling, her office and her folks can really help you map that out. So if you have anything else to add, Kim, certainly I think that'd be great.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is that if you have the intention to transfer, it's never too early to start mapping that out. And there's lots of really important steps that often students don't take until the semester before they want to transfer. And that's not impossible, but it is accelerates that process, and you can certainly pace yourself more if you have that intention to transfer. We can plan and help you think through all of those steps much earlier, so that everything is seamless, whether that's in New York State or out of New York State, public or private.
Yeah, that's helpful. Cost today too, as I jump to. We always get this question from parents as well about cost, and did a really good job explaining about, the sort of sticker shock, and then there's a reality of what you actually pay. And I think students, once they go through the process, start to realize, okay, it's not quite as much as I thought. But just the initial chart that Kyle shared, I mean, just tuition alone it's so significantly less. I mean, saving money by going to North Country or initially, and then going on to 4-year. I mean, it's sizable. I mean, it's a major amount of money. And students and parents, that they're like, it's become a real focus, because 4-year institutions, the cost has increased quite a bit. So I've had a few questions about just cost in terms of sort of cost, debt after graduation. Typically, how much is that, is a question. And then I'll throw in this, we had a sports question separately, Chad, you can answer right after this, but kids that come there and play junior college, a lot of kids don't understand junior college really is a pathway to a 4-year. people that end up playing, you know, in major four-year institutions, but that you can start there, get better at your sport, and then move on. So those are totally separate questions, cost involved in both. But if someone could talk a little bit, maybe answer that one question about typically how much debt might I have after I graduate?
I can answer that question.
I can verify.
Here at North Country, most students who are eligible for a federal Pell Grant and a New York State TAP Award, some of the students here take out loans to help pay for their cost of living, like rent, and, you know, if they're a non-trad student, for family, for expensive childcare. But for a student who, I would say maybe 70% of the students don't have to take out a loan because they receive a Pell Grant. But at other institutions, say overall, the average loan, I would say, for a student, if they go to a more expensive college, there's a certain allotment that they can get every year. So like for the first year, they would get $5,500, second year, $6,500, and third and fourth year, they would get $5,500 each. So that averages about $27,000. And if you were to go to like a private school, that's the base amount that the student can take out. They can't take out any more than that. So they would end up having to take out private loans or parent loans. So I would just say I wouldn't say the average here is lower, but the national average as far as eligibility would be like 27,000.
Yeah. And Mary Ellen, correct me if I'm wrong. When I was at the University of Vermont, they would often talk about, you know, the average debt after graduation was like in the 20s, and it got up into, you know, 25. I believe it's over 30 nationally. So the numbers you're sharing it's pretty impressive. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, our students don't take I would say our average, I would say is pretty minimal. I would say maybe 9,000 over the 2 years, but that's their decision to take that long. Some of them don't have to pay the direct cost. But also for more expensive schools and private schools, that's just the base that those numbers are based on, just the direct loans that they take out. They will most likely need additional money on top of that. And that's where the parent would come in, or even private loans. So the number is actually more inflated, I think. The real number is.
Yeah. Well, that's helpful. Your presentation really lays it out.
So that's why going to like our school or community college, you know, get your basics out of the way the first years and then save your money and then transfer. And here at North Country, they, you know, depending on your academic level, you could attend here on a full scholarship if you're in Essex and Franklin County, but that's more directly to the student. So
yeah. One more quick one for you. We had some students from Vermont asking, because, you know, Ticonderoga, that campus, I mean, you're not very far.
Mm-hmm.
Can they come over? Is it obviously the structure is probably the cost structure is slightly different, but
they would have to pay the out-of-state tuition, which is actually no, there's they would still be able to get a VSAT grant,
right?
And because that's the only state grant that comes over to
yes.
And then they would be able to take out loans. And, you know, we usually counsel the students that are out of state a little bit more one-on-one, because there's more things that they have to apply for. So, but again, the cost is still relatively low.
Yeah, that's a great call. I forgot VSAC. You're right. It's the only one. You can carry it anywhere. So that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Chad, I don't know if you a couple examples, you know, some of our athletes are saying, can you just name a few athletes that have graduated, went on to play D1?
As far as D1, we just last year, Lav Ward, who was our women's basketball player, she was first team All-American. She's at she's at
A lot of athletes. I'm sure it's hard to keep.
Sorry.
Nah, it's all good.
Good Lord, that's gonna kill me. Sorry. She just it's in Ohio. It's gonna drive me nuts. But anyway, she just got to go D1 on a full scholarship.
Wow.
We've had in the past Virginia, Maryland.
Wow.
And then in the last one to go on the men's side was we had East Tennessee. So most of our student athletes go to the Division III, Division II.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, we're fortunate to get a student like Lav who, does go on and at the Division I level. But even at the D2, they're getting a lot of financial scholarship to do it. And at the D3, you may not see it because you're not allowed to get athletic scholarship at the Division III level, but you can get warrant-based scholarship from the privates. And if you're an athlete, that's not going to hurt you.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know on this side, in Burlington, St. Mike's gets a lot of kids, junior college, and free ride. All these things we're talking about are cost saving related. We're getting a little up against it on time, but I did have a couple questions about majors. And when I hear everything you've talked about, I hear some cutting edge entrepreneurship, sports events management, environmental sciences. You're well known for that. Nursing alone. We have travelers that come up to the University of Vermont Medical Center. My wife's a nurse there. They're making over $100,000 a year as travelers. Nurses that have been there for years, they just got a sizable raise. I mean, this is a major. It's a more traditional one, right? It's not, there's cybersecurity, there's all these new ones, but nursing still, it pays incredibly well. And from what you said about your program, and someone jump in, please, and tell a little more about it. But I mean, you could get out and graduate from there and work in any of the hospitals, well, anywhere really. And the starting salary now is incredible. Please jump in and talk about some of your grads in that major, among others.
Yeah, I'll start off with that one. And it's one of those tried and true programs that has been around forever and is not going away. And in fact, the demand out there for licensed PNs and RNs right now, that we can't fill the demand. And so a lot of our providers that are in the state regionally, they want our graduates and they want more of them. And in fact, if we had space, we could be kicking out more, and they would be having, they could pick whatever job they want, based off of where they grew up or just where they want to work. So that's one of the things that is not going away. And I think in the last couple of years, especially, there's been a lot more emphasis put on healthcare in general, and just the need for quality candidates to apply for those jobs and really help out, not only during a pandemic, but also our citizens here in the U.S. Are growing older. And there's just more and more need for that, whether it's in a clinic setting or a hospital, long-term health, counseling. There's a lot of different avenues that people can take going through the nursing programs.
Yeah, and some of your one of the last one, they asked about what are some of your other popular majors. I know environmental science, and you think of that industry and just clean energy, where things are going. So many new jobs, is exploding industry. Any other majors? They're just simply asking what are your most popular majors.
Yeah, since I'm talking about healthcare, RadTech is another one that's been tried and true at the college that fills every single year. It's another one that's in high demand, and it's something that I think the college has really built a reputation on. So the RadTech program, but there's also massage therapy. People need wellness and to feel good, and that's something that we've kicked out a lot of graduates from our massage therapy program that are working around the North Country and elsewhere, just making people feel better.
Yeah, thank you. I could talk all day about this. We're gonna have to call it there, but you've really brought forth some stuff that I don't think our students have thought about. They didn't realize everything that you all offer, and just in all the areas that they all matter, right? I mean, everything, finance, just personal health, what you offer. If students come there, do they have a family? Clearly they will if they come there, because you all care and everything you've talked about. I just want to tell you how much we appreciate it. We'll share your information. They can reach out if they have more questions and visit. And we can leave it there. Kyle, if you have any parting words, I just want to thank you everybody so much for taking the time.
Thank you all for
Yeah.
attending.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We'll stay in touch and we will get students on those campuses.
We hope
I
to
know.
see you.
All right, appreciate it.
Bye-bye.